had a little bit of issues with audio for a little bit of time, but I just want to make sure everyone can actually hear me. Okay, awesome. It looks like everybody can hear me. So let's get into it, you guys. So today we're going to go over the actual checklist for actually setting up the funnel. I think the checklist is super important because you want to make sure that you're doing it in a proper order and you have a proper strategy when setting up an actual funnel. Many times as you're going, you're thinking about so many things. You're thinking about copy, you're thinking about design, you're thinking about sales. So it's super important to actually have a checklist to make sure that you're touching all of the things. Last week, we went over the ads checklist. If you want me to go back over that again next week, I'm more than willing to go back over that again next week. But for now, I want to make sure that you guys are setting up the funnel correctly. So right now, we'll go over the actual checklist really quickly. So here we go. You'll notice the first thing you want to do is focus on the copy. Copy quality. You want to ensure all the text is clean, compelling, and very clear without any grammatical errors, because we want to make sure that we're showing competency not only in what we're trying to sell people, but that we're giving them clear, concise information about not only our product, but in regards to the benefits that they will get from utilizing our services and our product. Once again, we have actual samples in our actual funnel factory, and we also have GPT samples that allows you to tell ChatGPT about what your business is, and then insert our sample to ask ChatGPT to use that format in creating the actual copy for the funnel. Remember that we always have a certain way we want to set up the copy. We want to sell the destination. We want to make sure that people understand that they're going to reach our goal and their goal with using our services. Then after that, we'll go more into detail about our services. After that, we want to include testimonials from people who's used our services, and then we want to put quick benefits of using our services. Remember, we always have that actual template as well in samples in our lead generation magnet classroom. The next thing, like I said before, you want to align with goals. Verify that the copy aligns with the objectives of your funnel. So if you're selling, if you're upselling, if this is a tripwire, you want to make sure if this is a VSL, something that's getting people, collecting people's information, you want to make sure that your copy is reflective of that. So if you're trying to collect information such as email addresses or contact information, remember that you're using the proper copy to do that, as well as there's also proper copy for sales as well. Call to action. Remember, you want to check that your call to actions are effective and communicated and visible. For me, I like to add at least 3 call to actions, the same call to action in 3 different sections of the funnel, because I think that some people, by the time they get to your funnel, they've already made the decision and you don't want them looking for the call to action button. So I'm always really big on putting that call to action button at the very top. There are some people that this is the first time clicking on your stuff, so they want to know a little bit more about what's going on. So you want to definitely sell them the dream, tell them a little bit more information, and have call to actions in these actual sections, because at any point in time, you have been and sold them, and then they keep going, and then they lose track of time. Someone calls them, something else happens, and now they're no longer in your funnel. The next thing is frequently asked questions and support information. People definitely want to know what's the most common problems or issues or questions that people have about your services or your product. So you want to be very transparent with that to make sure that you're answering those questions before people even make the consideration or make the action of purchasing the product. This allows you to remove a lot of doubts that would typically come up for people without even having to talk to them one-on-one. And also sharing information for them to reach out to your team, whether it be a text message, whether it be emails. You want to have information so people can actually reach out and get more information. Sometimes people even handle this on social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, or any platform that you're prominently promoting your product on. From there, once you have your copy locked in and people know exactly what it is, next thing you want to focus on is the actual branding, the actual aesthetic of what your funnel is going to look like. So you want to make sure that there's consistency across the whole funnel. So with our funnels, we have our logos, our branding on the funnel. You want to make sure that you transition that over to being your branding, your logos, and whatever color aesthetic, you want to swap out that color aesthetic that we put on the pre-funnel for your color aesthetic. If you want to continue using ours, we use color palettes to make sure that they are aesthetically and they're neutral, so they'll fit any particular business or company. So you'll see a lot of like tans, a lot of whites, a lot of off whites, because we don't like to have heavy color when it comes to giving people our funnels. You might also get a dark mode and a light mode. So that's pretty much as dynamic as we will typically get when it comes to actually giving you a pre-made funnel. So remember, you want to make sure that it's consistent across the board. You want to integrate your social media into the funnel. So Instagram buttons, TikTok buttons, Facebook buttons, LinkedIn buttons. You want to make sure that people can get back to your social media to get more information about you, your services, what you do, because sometimes, actually many times, people will not purchase the first time they include your funnel. That's why redirections are important. But essentially, they want to know more about you. They want to know what you're doing, who you are. They want to be a part of the journey. So it's always important to link people back to other information about you. Favicons are like sneaky important. These are the actual logos that come up in the top right corner of the HTTP or the actual website address. That helps you actually look professional, that people know that they're not clicking on something that's spammy. So that's a very minute detail that can actually help you push over the top to showing people that you're a legitimate business and that you have something that they want. And lastly, when it comes to branding, mobile optimization. Mobile optimization is key because you have to understand that at least 70% of the people that's going to come across your product is going to come across your product through social media or somewhere online. It's very rare that someone will be sitting behind a computer and actually decide to purchase your product. They're going to be on the go. They're going to have a pain point moment of, oh my God, I need to lose weight, or oh my God, I need this, oh my God, I need that. And they're going to immediately go to their phone. They're not going to wait till they get on the computer. That is why your funnel needs to be optimized for mobile. And that's why in system.io, there's even optimization when it comes to mobile. And that's super important. Okay, the next section is the technical functionality, user journey, and experience. So you want to look at the navigation and the flow. The one great thing about system.io, you can actually see it on the side of how the actual people will go through the customer journey. And you can always modify that when it comes to that. Let me pull that up really quickly to make sure that I'm giving you a visual demonstration of what that looks like. So this here is a perfect example of that navigation and that flow. You see step by step what section that people will be going through, and you're making sure that it actually makes sense in regards to the flow of how people are going through the customer journey. And it's right there in system.io on the side. The next thing is the functionality of link buttons. So making sure that every call to action that you put in your funnel actually has the correct link going to the next step in the funnel or going straight to the sales page. This is important as well because sometimes if you're not detail oriented, you can miss a button. And if you miss a button and people click on that button and it doesn't work, you're more than likely going to actually lose that sale because they're not going to continue searching for buttons in the funnel. So make sure that if you have 3 buttons in your funnel, that all 3 buttons click and link to somewhere else, and making sure that all of that is functional. Page loading speed. Page loading speed is very important because it allows people to stay focused and locked in on what the current thing that they're doing is. If your page loading is not fast, then you're more than likely to lose the person's interest. They'll disengage and move on to the other thing that they have going on in their life. That is once again why we use system.io, because it's simple, it looks very nice, but there's not a ton that's holding the actual customer from getting from where they are to the next section of the funnel. So once again, I know there's a lot of websites out there, a lot of different things, but really for us, when it comes to funnels, system is essential and great when it comes to speed of people getting through the actual process of purchasing. The next thing is 404 error pages. You want to set up user-friendly 404 error pages that guides them back to the funnel. Now, this will happen if it's a broken funnel. Sometimes broken funnels do happen, but it's very rare because we're giving you the funnel. And so our funnels will not be broken as long as you're putting the actual links in where they need to go. You can go into system.io and design your 404 page. And if someone wants us to show you how to do that, we'll definitely do that. I think that is not super important because you're using a pre-made funnel from us. But if someone does tend to forget to put their links where they need to go, then designing a 404 page will be essential. So it's definitely in this checklist to make sure that you do have a 404 page that will lead people back. So if you would like me to make a video about that, I'm more than willing to do that. Accessibility. Ensure your funnel is accessible to users with disabilities. This would mean that if you are have a funnel that has a video, making sure that that video has captions on the video, different things like that. If someone is blind, making sure that there's ways that it can actually read. System is great. System.io is great for that, for disability setup. So making sure that you're able to sell product and services to people of all particular issues. And so I think that making sure that you have that is great. The next section is tracking. So you want to set up tracking. The great thing about tracking with system, it's already set up on the main page. So when you go to your dashboard, and remember, this is our sample one we use just for getting you guys the funnel. So you'll see just in the dashboard, you'll see how many people are there, and the dashboard can be set up to have different things, different leads and everything like that. So just remember that it's right there already for you. The next section is conversion tracking. Once again, conversion tracking is set up in system, so all of that stuff is there. You want to make sure that you're using a platform that can track all of those things. Performance monitoring. You can also track performance monitoring in system as well. Now, if you're setting up a funnel and you're selling through Facebook, you want to make sure that your Facebook ads are being effective. Facebook typically does have a setup in the ads library to make sure that you're getting those weekly reports. And if you would like me to go over that, I'm more than willing to go over that if you're actually running ads for your funnels. So payment processing, you want to make sure that system is set up with Stripe, which there's a video that we gave you guys to show you how to set it up with Stripe and make sure that your payment processing is set up effectively. Product setup, verifying that the products and services are set up correctly during the checkout process, and then also making sure you have email confirmation if the email is verifying the service and the link, if it's a digital product or if it's a digital service, making sure that people know next steps from the email confirmation that they get. And then lastly, once again, delivery confirmation, making sure that there's points of access to the product. If it's a digital product, whether it be videos, PDFs, whatever you're selling digitally, post-purchase communication, you want to then back end them into an email funnel, which we give you guys those email funnels as well to utilize to make sure that you're keeping communication with these people during this particular process. And you want to have a customer feedback mechanism. What I always tell people, which you will see in the upcoming course about getting 100 customers, that many people are willing to leave a negative review, but it's very rare whenever you've done a great job that you give a positive review. That is why a referral and feedback system is super important for you to collect that data and make adjustments or be able to allow people to leave reviews that you can utilize to attract more customers. So I just wanted to go over this actual funnel checklist because I think it's super important. This funnel checklist can be found in our actual section for lead magnets and marketing tools. So be sure to use that. If you have any questions about it, DM me, send me a message, send somebody on my team a message. We'll be more than willing to assist with that.